Yes guys, so today I'm going to be documenting how I feel on my weekly 30 plus hour fast I do every Friday. So I've already been up a few hours, done a little bit of work, played a little bit of Pokemon, Leaf Green on the Switch. I'm not feeling too bad. I ate pretty late last night. I always eat pretty late when I know I've got a fast the next day. Very, very tired this week, but I'm going to explain why after I have a shower. Okay, so I've had a shower now. I think this is going to be a very easy fast today. I'm not feeling that hungry at all. Pretty energised, to be honest with you. Just sitting down now. Got the fan on me, absolutely boiling. So the reason I'm feeling pretty bad this week is I'm cutting at the minute. I think I'm like a couple months in now to a cut. I've already explained it in the last video of how I do it, whatever. But anyway, I finished my training blocks. I'm also getting strong as well at the same time as cutting, two things that don't go together. And essentially, at the end of every training block, I like to not celebrate, but let my hair down a bit. Let my hair down, I say. And basically, I always end up going out for a drink. Obviously, my girlfriend's with me now, so we went to Birmingham at the weekend. And essentially, due to the heat wave, the drinking, the McDonald's I had after as like a little cheat meal I've had, a load of other factors because affecting poor sleep, the sweat on my skin. My skin has been really, really bad this week. It's a little bit better now, but it's affected my sleep. But I've still, I just manned up. I didn't pussy about. I've been to the gym. I've done all my cardio sessions, all my weight sessions, started a new training block, sets of 10 on all compounds. Hideous. And essentially I just got really tired because, I wasn't really recovering too much because it was really too hot to get enough sleep. But I feel like I got enough sleep last night. Skin's a little bit better now. Today might be a rest day. So what I normally tend to do is I have a body weight session on my Friday session, but I either do it Friday or Saturday. I did it Sunday last week, probably why also I was so fucked because I did it hungover as well. But, I think I've got the energy. I might be able to do it later. But essentially, all of that, fatigue, whatever, probably should have took a Dino last week after the training block was finished, just caught up with me. So I felt pretty shit. And I was dreading this fast all week because of how I felt. But today, funnily enough, I always say about fasting how it makes you feel good. It's probably the best day that I've actually felt good. So, not in a bad situation at all at the minute. All I've had so far... So I don't do the fasting. I don't give a fuck about, you drink bone broth, you can't have squash. Look, I drink fizzy diet drinks. I've recently been making this iced tea, which I'll show you later. I'm going to actually make some, so I won't be having that till later on. I had one glass this morning. And, a shit ton of water. And if I get hungry, I get I'll get the savoury taste. I'll have like a chicken stock cube. But essentially, it's not as hard as you think fasting, to be honest with you. Don't get me wrong, don't go into like a 30-hour one straight from the jump. You've got to do like a 12-hour one, just missing breakfast. Then, don't eat all day, just eat in the evening. Then you can progress to a 30-hour one. But this has been helping tremendously, not only with the calorie deficit, but just mindset as well. I'm normally very, very productive on these days as well. It's mad how much work you get done when you don't have to think about food. And, just generally getting shit done. But yeah, see you in the next clip. Alright, so we've made it to the afternoon. This video is going to be pretty uneventful if I'm honest with you, because when I'm fasting I don't really tend to do too much. Just a bit of work, a bit of Pokemon, which I'm going to be showing you in a bit. Just made some iced tea, put it in the freezer. Decaf with sweeteners, lemon, get me through the day. Obviously I won't be having that for about an hour because it takes a while to cool down. Hence why I put it in the freezer. But yeah, no, I'm glad I did this vlog today because I'm actually feeling pretty good. The past few fasts, because it's been, when I went to Mexico for like nearly 3 months, I didn't do any fasting out there. And then coming back, it was a little bit rough. Oh, Dad's into the shop. Right, Father? Yeah, main goal is to just hydrate, not think about food. Father again. And mainly just try and get through the day without feeling like absolute dog shit, which is going pretty well now, to be honest. One thing you need to account for when you are doing a fast is making sure you're getting a decent amount of salt, electrolytes in general, because obviously the lack of food, lack of carbohydrates, your body doesn't really retain water that well, so probably a best idea to try and stock up on as much liquids as possible and a bit of salt in there as well. When I do have the chicken stock cube, if I have it later, perfect replenishment as well. Also, one thing as well, I try not to abuse caffeine on these days as much, because that can be a trap you fall into where like, okay, I feel alright now, I've had a decent amount of caffeine, then it comes to sleeping at night and you just, yeah, it's near enough impossible. Iced tea in the sun, don't get much better on a fast. A little Salta Argentina cup as well. Excuse the slurping sounds, I'm very thirsty. One thing that helps me massively through the fast, especially with like wanting to have some flavour in your mouth, pause, is literally like low calorie, 0 calorie drinks. Obviously the only calories in this, there's no milk. It's just tea, lemon, sweeteners. But yeah, unreal. Genuinely, just as refreshing as having a beer. Almost. Not quite. But yeah, getting through. Nearly in the evening now. It's not even been hard this time around. Maybe I should do another one where I'm actually really struggling. To be honest with you, those days I don't really want to pick up the fucking camera, but hey-ho. Alright, so it seems I've actually got a decent amount of energy compared to the last few weeks I've been fasting. Decided to come and do my body weight session at the park. Probably not going to record it because I didn't bring my tripod with me. And I don't quite think a blade of grass has a strong enough support system to prop up my phone. So, glad I got this done. Hopefully this gives me a little bit of a boost of energy for the end of the day. This training session basically consists of Bulgarian split squats, press-ups, pull-ups, pike press-ups for your shoulders, chin-ups for your biceps, and then dips. More than likely just going to be doing the chin-ups and pull-ups because I can do the rest at home. I basically opted to do this instead of walking to the gym on a fasting day, which takes 40 minutes and 40 minutes back. While it is good for steps, it absolutely defeats me at the end of the week and I'm just absolutely knackered. And it's really not worth it to go to the gym to just do some body weight movements. Also, I don't really like doing it in the park because while it is completely normal to go to a park and do some pull-ups, it's kind of weird. I always see the geezer in the house opposite me, opposite the park, fucking just glaring out the window, probably thinking I'm a creep because it does look creepy. But fucking hell, I'm only doing some pull-ups. Okay, so while you're watching me absolutely obliterate the Elite Four, yes, with 2 Kadabras, post-production edit 2 Alakazams. I forgot that I evolved them. It took me so long to fucking evolve them, trying to meet with my friends. I am 30, so it's to be expected. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about my thought process and how I'm utilising fasting in my current training regime. So, with fasting, a lot of people get it wrong. They think it's this magic secret formula that you can use to get an unreal shape because you're not eating. Oh, you know, if you're not eating, you're bound to lose weight. But yes, that is the case, but there are downsides to it. If you do it wrong, you're going to end up binging. You're going to probably consume more calories than you would have normally within the space of 2 days in one day, and it's not going to end well for you. The way I use it is, this is my structure of my days. I have my Monday, which is moderate carb day, where I'm doing my squats. I do a full body split. My Tuesday, which is when I do my bench, another full body split day with circuit training cardio. My Wednesday, which I use as deadlift day, which is also no carb day. My Thursday, which is a full body day, main compounds, hack squat, also a high cardio day, high carb day. And then Friday is where I normally do my body weight session and I fast. And then I have, Saturday and Sunday off, just do as many steps as I do naturally. Now, the reason I do this is because it's working for me at the minute. I've done every single diet under the sun and experiment with lots of different techniques, methods, systems, pardon the pun, SPT systems, over the years. And this one right now is the most comfortable that I'm working with that's getting me results. Not rapid. It's not the quickest diet I've ever done. RFL, rapid fat loss, that's probably the quickest one, but it's a pain because you're doing minimal carb, minimal fat, just high protein. You have a refeed day, but you feel fucked for most of the day. So my thought process behind it is, I want to feel fucked for 1.5 to 2 days maximum, and then the rest feel relatively normal. So, funnily enough, most of the days when I am fasting, I don't actually feel that fucked. I don't feel the best on a no carb day, but you know, it's not as bad because I normally have chicken wings that day. But the thing behind it is you're gonna have to do a weekly calorie deficit. Now, I'm historically a fat boy, as you can probably tell from my before pictures. If you checked out my Instagram, do it, follow me, SPT Systems. I like to eat. Now, as backwards as this may sound, me not eating one day allows me to eat more on the other days and still be in a deficit. I know, it sounds crazy, right? But it really, really does work. Now, what most people do is they go into it too fast. They just, you know, they don't do a 6-hour fast or even a 24-hour fast. They go straight to like, you know, I'm going to eat for the entire day. I'm going to just not going to eat until the evening. Now, what this does is essentially, because you're not used to it, you kind of go into fucking overdrive and you start devouring anything that resembles food, and it's essentially not really very good for you mentally. The whole reason behind fasting is, yes, it puts me in a calorie deficit, but it's more for the discipline. You know, I'm going to do something hard, which is going to make me appreciate the things that are also hard, but not as hard as, you know, not eating for 38 hours and training, etc. So this problem doesn't just stem with diet either. It stems with training as well. People are always taking the fucking easy route out, you know, not doing compounds anymore, spending 3 hours on the cable machine, and it just ends in disappointment. It's the same with diet. You'll try and go into just a high protein, or, you know, a lot of people when they diet don't even eat protein. They literally just go straight to, oh, I'm gonna have a salad for lunch and soup for dinner. And like, that is not sustainable. That is just stupid. Or you're not gonna stick to it. You have to find a way that's gonna allow you to stick to it consistently for a long amount of time. Because the thing about dieting as well, always gonna take longer than you think, every single time. So why not do something you actually enjoy? And this method I do right now with my training and nutrition, I actually enjoy. It's called the LSR method, Lean Strength Recon. Because while I am looking to burn body fat, I used to be very, very strong. And only recently I've started getting that strength back again. But when you go into a extreme diet, as I did when I lost all my weight, you lose your strength, you know. I kept it for a while, but the last month, just over a month, lost it, genuinely. You can't. Like, mass moves mass at the end of the day. But you want to try and keep that strength as much as possible, because the more strength you keep, the more muscle you keep, the better you're going to look when you do cut. I've always been a big lad. I like eating, you know, to my detriment. I don't regret when I was big, because not a lot of people know is I actually did that intentionally, because I was so obsessed with hitting a certain numbers on the squat, bench, and deadlift. I was just eating to recover. You know, I didn't necessarily know the best about nutrition like I do now, since I've been, you know, well, I did. I just didn't apply it to myself because it was fucking working. My numbers were going up every week and it was addictive. But naturally, I wasn't actually that fat. It was self-inflicted to get the numbers. Only now I've realised that instead of doing, you know, the strength periodization method that I use, which is just, you know, a shit ton of volume to start with and you progress up to a 1 rep max, you don't need to do all that volume. If you train intensely, which I've trained myself to do on compounds, you can get away with a top set, back off set method where you're still lifting heavy weight, but you're just not doing it for as many sets, and you can still get strong while getting lean. There's been numerous studies and people talking about it recently, how, you know, you don't have to do as much volume when you're cutting, trying to lose weight, especially when you're trying to get stronger. You just have to focus on the intensity. And I found going all out on one set, doing a back off, helps me tremendously in actually getting leaner. You know, not shredded. I'm not shredded. I've never been shredded. I've been lean, not shredded. And getting stronger on my compound lifts. Because while, yes, I do want to be lean. Yeah, everybody wants to be lean. I also want to be strong, you know. I don't want to, you know, look the part. I actually want to be strong on the squat, bench and deadlift. You know, when you get strong, it kind of turns into your personality, you know. And, you know, it's not necessarily a bad thing. But when you lose the strength, when you're doing a cut, don't feel good, honestly. I almost hit the all-time numbers I wanted to hit when I first started lifting. The only one that slipped away from me was the 300 kg deadlift. Only got 275. Hey, maybe we'll get it again in the future. Not really too arsed now. I'm more focused on doing reps. My goal at the minute is 180 squat for 10 reps. I've done it for 7, so 10's definitely there. But I'm training now. Got it in the chamber. A few more weeks on the training plan, I'll get it. But I think it's important as well as a guy to just be strong as well. You just want to be, you know, I'm not saying it's functional, like powerlifting, whatever. I'm not a powerlifter, but I participate in recreational powerlifting. It's just something I enjoy. I think every guy should be strong, you know. There's no better feeling than hitting a PR, especially when, like, you know, you're lifting weights in like a commercial gym and nobody's really lifting that weight. Everybody turns around to see if you'll get it, and you get it. Unmatched feeling. But not only am I doing this for myself, a lot of you probably know I'm an online coach too, have been for 6 years. Started before the hype, like 1 month before the first lockdown, so not really that much before the hype. And I've been helping guys for the past 6 years do exactly the same. I've helped guys in all metrics, you know, all start points, etc. But my main 2 ones are, I help skinny fat guys recomp, you know, build muscle, burn fat, get strong at the same time. And also helping big guys, ex-big guys like myself, who want to maintain that strength, but also look like they lift. Because, you know, looking like you lift is essentially, you know, being lean, having, you know, some sort of definition. Not necessarily abs. I've had abs for like 6 hours total in my entire life, maybe 24 hours. That was obviously after my photo shoot, then obviously after that, whatever, then I've, you know, put on a bit of weight, needed to add a bit of size again, but I'm cutting again now, so they will be returning. But yeah, I've been helping guys do this for years now. And throughout the years, obviously tested and tried different methods, used methods I know that work, but obviously experimenting, you know, me being my own guinea pig for myself, this method now for the LSI is generally the best one I've ever made. You know, I'm not saying I invented it, you know, the systems and the tools I used to inside of it, but the combination of carb cycling, fasting, lower volume but higher intensity, high intensity cardio 2-3 times a week, and having a decent step count while eating, you know, not the food you enjoy. You're not going to be eating a fucking McDonald's on this diet, but you can make healthier versions of those foods, fit more, you know, not the best macro, but is, because you kind of switch your carb days around to actually fit them in, to actually combine them all together and get results pretty quickly and very much sustainable. Now, if you want to apply to work with me to actually get into shape, like some of the guys on my page, I might shove a few results up here as well. Yes. I'm looking for a certain amount of people that actually want to take things serious, want to get in shape and get or retain your strength. No, not retain your strength, get stronger. Every client I work with always gets stronger. PRs constantly on my Instagram story. If you follow me, you'll see. But if you want to work with me and actually get some results, so you don't have to keep fucking losing the same 10 to 15 kg every single summer trying to get into shape, because, you know, I was going to say the same 5 kg, but, you know, if you only need to lose 5 kg and you're in shape, you're in a pretty good position, to be honest with you. But if you want help to actually see results and actually get results, drop me a DM on Instagram. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll let you enjoy the rest of the playthrough. Defeated the Elite Four, record time. May or may not have resetted a few times on Lance, but we'll never know how many times, eh? Yes. So I helped my husband, he's on my coach. I helped my husband, he's on my coach. He doubled his client base. And then another online coach too, I also helped double my client base. Full restore, obviously. Come on. Oh! Oh. Don't die.